Hi guys, this is physical therapist John Zombro, and this video is for you, my PT colleagues. Right now we're in the midst of an explosion in telehealth physical therapy, and I'd like to offer up some suggestions that you may find useful in developing and refining your tele-PT practice. I've been providing tele-PT services for 5 years, and I'd like to share some of my experiences with you so that you can meet the needs of your clients and patients at the very same time you create and maintain a viable revenue stream for your practice. The information that I'll be providing is available in greater detail in my ebook, A Guide to Developing a Telehealth Physical Therapy Practice. The guidebook is part of my collegial consultation product, which is an interactive practice-to-practice webinar, and I'll provide a few details about that at the end of this video. But now let's get right into the considerations for an effective and profitable tele-PT practice. There are 3 main areas upon which we should focus: the setup of your tele-PT space, the regulatory issues surrounding this facet of PT practice, and the recommendations that you can utilize to make your sessions more efficient and effective. We're going to focus mainly on setup in today's discussion. In setting up your tele-PT work area, you're basically creating a dedicated workstation that is essentially a broadcast studio. The first thing to ensure is that you have a clean, distraction-free, and private workspace. This will allow you to be organized and to protect confidentiality and privacy concerns. Next up is checking your acoustics. A carpeted clinical space with curtains, bookshelves, and furniture will often be ideal, but in a gym or warehouse setting, you may need some dedicated noise reduction panels. With your lighting, make sure you have a minimum of about 500 lux and that you're front lit. You don't want your major light source behind you, as this will cause glare and shadowing and really diminish your customer's experience. Once you've got your space dialed in, you'll want to think about the equipment that you are using. Of course, you'll need HIPAA-compliant software for meeting and communicating with your clients and for the management of scheduling, billing, and electronic health records. There are many options available, but just make sure that you utilize the appropriate encryption methods and have a HIPAA business associate agreement in place. You'll also want to consider the speed of your internet connection, with an absolute minimum of about 1.5 megabytes per second in both upload and download speed, with faster definitely being better for improved audio and video experience. While clients and patients can utilize any device, I recommend only laptop and desktop computers for clinicians. This gives you a higher level of functionality to deliver screen shares, files, and to perform other tasks. You'll probably also want a large external monitor, and you can even use a flat screen TV. I recommend going with a high-quality external webcam mounted on a tripod. This gives you better video and more mobility, enhancing your ability to best capture demonstrations and models. You'll also want a good wireless microphone to provide high-quality sound, as well as give you freedom of movement for your sessions. AirPods are great, but I prefer a high-quality wireless lavalier or lapel microphone. A pro tip here is to always have a backup mic handy, as you never know when batteries may fade or other problems arise. Shotgun mics are a decent choice, as are condenser models, but both of these perform best when you have very good acoustics in your studio. Otherwise, echo or background noise can be an issue. You might want earbuds or headphones to enhance audio from your client. I prefer external speakers or a soundbar, both of which represent an upgrade from the built-in speakers on most devices. Here's another pro tip. When you have a large monitor and good speakers, you'll have much less tendency to lean towards your screen and shout into the microphone, both of which are no-nos and just make you look less competent. I'd suggest that you keep your tele-PT broadcast center in a dedicated space, always set up and ready to go. Make it off limits to other clinical activity during your tele-PT sessions. And consider putting it on a mobile cart or table or shelving unit to give you even more mobility to fine-tune your session. In addition to using various documents, screen shares, photos, videos, and session recordings, I'd highly recommend a large whiteboard, preferably one on wheels. Clients really tend to derive great learning and value from this, and including a few anatomical models and props also helps to increase understanding and outcomes. Keep things you'll need for your sessions, such as exercise equipment, self-mobilization tools, and even common household items close to your workstation. This will be extremely helpful in teaching clients how to perform home programming most successfully. Also, and here's another pro tip, you shouldn't frequently be leaving your work area to retrieve items. This is another no-no, as it makes you look unprepared and unprofessional. Do your best to stay in the screen. Those are just some of the setup techniques that I've learned over the years in doing tele-PT, and I've included a lot more of those in the guide. Regarding the regulations, the policies and procedures most appropriate for tele-PT, including things like which codes and modifiers to use, I highly recommend the American Physical Therapy Association webpage at apta.org. If you're not already a member, I strongly encourage you to consider joining our professional network. There's a specific telehealth page there on the site, as well as one dedicated to the current coronavirus pandemic. For additional information, the private practice section also has a number of excellent resources. As you're well aware, the regulatory environment surrounding tele-PT practice is extremely dynamic, and it is essential that we all stay up to date. In the interest of keeping this video relatively brief, I'll touch very lightly on a few of the practice enhancement suggestions that are available in the guide. Probably the most important items are system and sequence. By system, I'm referring to the clinical methodology you prefer to utilize to screen, evaluate, and treat your patients. This could be any of the popular models we have in our field. And ultimately, as a master clinician, you will eventually combine aspects of those into your own proprietary approach. But whatever you do, have a system. Be reliable, repeatable, and accountable. This will make your data collection and problem solution endeavors much more useful and meaningful. Referring to sequence, you should have an organized flow to your tele-PT sessions that progresses through the introduction to an assessment, to treatment, and finally to conclusion in an orderly fashion. This will allow you to convey a process to your client and to make your sessions optimal. Tele-PT is an outstanding adjunct to clinical physical therapy practice. It's not meant to replace direct contact brick and mortar applications, but it can certainly and maximally serve many patients for whom the fit is ideal. This is an extremely valuable arm of service provision in healthcare, and particularly with the movement analysis, education, and corrective interventions we provide in physical therapy. But how we all provide tele-PT right now will inevitably dictate how viable it remains in our professional quiver in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found some useful tips. If you'd like additional resources to enhance your success with tele-PT, please consider my Guide to Telehealth Physical Therapy ebook and webinar for your practice. You can discover how to achieve better patient outcomes and experiences while simultaneously developing a highly profitable business. The details are available at thelifetimeathlete.com under the menu item Online Physical Therapy. Thanks for joining me today, and I wish you the best in health, performance, and tele-physical therapy practice.